And we got it for you here on NFL Total Access. Ian Rappaport putting this out on social media just moments ago. Jim Harbaugh, it is official. He is now the new head coach of the Los Angeles Chargers. Tom Pelissero, Mike Garafolo also involved in this reporting as well. And Ian, I'll let you take it away here. We just talked to you like 45 minutes ago. We said, maybe this is going to happen today. It is now officially done.
It is now expected to get done. The Chargers land Jim Harbaugh. This is real. This is not a drill. After many years of near misses, after flirtations with the NFL, after going back to college football, leaving a deal, by the way, that would have made Jim Harbaugh the highest paid coach in college football history on the table, he now lands with the Los Angeles Chargers. This has been a pretty long courtship, I would say, and it's not just over the last couple of days, Michael, though Harbaugh has been in the building. I know Brandon Brown, a potential general manager candidate, also in the building as well. This has been something that in the mind of Harbaugh and the mind of those close to him, this has been coming. It was really just a matter of making sure that leaving Michigan was absolutely something he wanted to do, making sure the Chargers job was the one he wanted. It all fits. Finally, Jim Harbaugh is back in the NFL with the Chargers.
Ian, Jim Harbaugh has flirted with a return to the NFL the last couple of years. This one felt different because it was mission accomplished back at his alma mater to win the national championship. There were multiple jobs that he was checking out. It wasn't just like, what was it, last year when he had the interview, or 2 years ago when he had the interview with the Minnesota Vikings, and it was like that may be like the right situation. He was pretty much all in on returning to the NFL if he found the right spot, and this one proved to be the right spot. It is a area that he's familiar with, that he played in, that he coached in. He coached down there in San Diego. I'm told he still has a place down there. So Jim Harbaugh returning to the NFL, back to California. He was with the San Francisco 49ers, took them to the postseason. Here you see him the other night returning the favor from his brother John being with him on the sideline for the national championship game. He showed up for this game for the Baltimore Ravens. And now you got both Harbaugh brothers back in the NFL, this time in the same conference. So we may see them face off a little bit more than we saw the first time around. Jim and John Harbaugh back in the NFL together. Ian, I'm told the conversation within the last day or so was about staffing, the final pieces, to make sure everything fit, to make sure that there was going to be enough money to pay the assistants. He may take some of the guys that were with him in Michigan, as well as maybe some familiar faces that he had during his previous time in the NFL, and then maybe even some fresh faces. But they're going to start putting that together along with the general manager hire.
And by the way, just to be officially clear, they have now agreed to terms with Jim Harbaugh. So there's no nearing a deal. They do have a deal. Jim Harbaugh now officially the Chargers head coach. And if you wonder why this was the job that he wanted, there's a lot to like here. And it's not just a loaded roster. I mean, the fact that he gets to be with Justin Herbert, this was a reason why this was a coveted job all around the NFL, why several candidates viewed this one as one they would absolutely take. But if you're the Chargers and you want to just kind of get over the hump and make use of this talented roster, getting a coach who has done it, who has reached the highest level in college football and in the NFL, Harbaugh makes a lot of sense. Just a matter of making sure everything fit together. Harbaugh now has agreed to terms with the Chargers.
And as further proof that this is really happening, the Los Angeles Chargers social media team, the Twitter account, they do a great job every year at the schedule reveal, has tweeted a picture of a lightning bolt on a chimney releasing white smoke, which is traditionally what they do when they elect a new pope. So, yes, this is happening here. Now look, I've been saying this about Jim Harbaugh, right? And we saw it from his first time in the NFL, and he's kind of bounced around in his coaching career. Are we going to be sitting here in 2034 talking about the Chargers head coach, Jim Harbaugh? Maybe not. He's usually not long for places. Now, that's also why the general manager hire is going to be extremely important, and why all these candidates seem to have a connection to Jim Harbaugh, because you want that synergy there. But Harbaugh's got a way of wearing on people. Tom Pelissero recently on the air here at NFL Network talked about how there was friction with management there at Michigan. You know, we certainly saw that with the 49ers.
Whoa.
But if you're the Los Angeles Chargers, if you're the Chargers, you've got a quarterback, you've got a lot of talent, You're ready to compete now. It's been disappointing the last couple of years, some of the results. You know you're going to win football games in the NFL with Jim Harbaugh, and that's why the Chargers pulled the trigger on this hire right now.
Yeah, a terrific roster that Jim Harbaugh gets to go and face. Mike G, to your point, I'm looking at SoFi Stadium. If it's like the Vatican, I do see a change of the colored smoke. So you're right. It is now officially official just based off of that as well. But if you needed the proof, here you go. Oh, there we go. The social media account for the Chargers. If that doesn't say it all, I don't know what will. But there's a lot of juice now all of a sudden. It's been all about this Rams team the last couple of years, Kimmy, but the Chargers now get to infuse a little bit of life into this franchise.
Chargers social team, undefeated always, especially now with the news that Jim Harbaugh is now officially the head coach from a national championship run with Michigan this season to now joining the AFC West. What are your initial reactions to Harbaugh and the Chargers?
Well, I know the Chargers are on the Ravens schedule next year, so that'll be fun, right?
Yeah.
Brothers get to go at it. I think that was really interesting. I saw an interview with him the other day. He was talking about his national championship or the chances that he might win a national championship. This was before the game. And he said his brother's Super Bowl trophy sits on the mantle at the parents' house. I don't know if the national championship trophy carries as much weight, right? So for him, I think that, like, when we were talking about him going back to Michigan or maybe coming and trying to come back in the NFL, that was something that I thought about. I'm like, he's going to make the move back because I think he wants to get in here and try and win a Super Bowl. And if you think about that, roster-wise, I think that we probably would all be in agreement that the Chargers have a pretty good roster. They have a good quarterback, right? So it's not something that he has to come in and rebuild, grab a new guy. He has a proven quarterback that has played good football in this league, and they have some really good components there. So I think that the key is going to be kind of what we were talking about is the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, general manager. Like, there's a lot of questions there. Like, we don't really know. And the good thing about Jim is he's done a lot of different things, right? You watch Michigan last year. They were one of the slowest teams in the league, or in college football, of snapping the football. They were really methodical. But the thing is with Colin Kaepernick, they played a more up-tempo style. They were zone runs. So I think he can do a lot of different things. I think what he's going to do is see the personnel, try and match that with his play callers, and see if they can make something happen because this guy can play, right?
Yes,
that's what I know. He can play, right? So I think that you have that. Now just build a good defense. They have the pieces. I think that's what's been so frustrating probably for Chargers fans is I think they had a good football team the last couple of years. You know, and unfortunately they just have fallen short and they haven't – situationally they weren't very good. I used to get on Brandon Staley all the time, man.
Man, the Chargers have been good for a while. Like, I'm talking about on paper.
You need a leader, right?
You do. You need a leader, and I think Coach Harbaugh has proven that he can be a leader on multiple different levels. Now, it surprised me that he stayed in the AFC. I thought he would go to the NFC,
right?
So that way, if he plays his brother, they can do it for all the marbles. You know what I'm saying? I thought it would be more of that regard, but I mean, this team has the third fewest cap number available, right? They're negative $44 million in the hole.
To do.
They got a lot of work to do, and they're going to have to draft well. They're going to have to develop well, and he's going to have to figure out a way to get the most out of Justin Herbert that he possibly can. Because honestly, I believe Justin Herbert has greatly underperformed in his career so far. So build a team around him, get that defense straight. They got pass rushers. They have talent everywhere. It's a good look for Coach Harbaugh.
Yeah, I like it.
Are you guys surprised that he went to the AFC West? On paper, that's an incredibly tough division. Kansas City has locked it up 7-8 seasons in a row. Second head coach hire here in this division, Antonio Pierce, who was the interim head coach for the Raiders, now the full-time head coach. There's a lot of talent there, guys.
It's a lot of talent. Patrick Mahomes resides in that division as well. But I think if you know Coach Harbaugh, Jim Harbaugh, and you know how fiery and competitive he is, I think he's welcoming the fact that he's in the AFC West. He wants to beat the Andy Reids. He wants to beat Patrick Mahomes. That's how he wants to make his name. But I will say his staff is going to be very important. He has a unique personality. I covered him in college football this past year. Very unique, a very deliberate teacher of the game. I think he'll be fine.
I don't think that he's afraid of the AFC West either, or he wouldn't have taken the job, right? He wouldn't have pinpointed the Chargers after spending years away from the league and saying, you know, I'm going to come back to the NFL. I'm going to do it with a team that's not really quite there yet. Yeah. I feel like he really believes that the Chargers have what it takes to win there.
Well, guess what? You're in store for yet another of NFL Total Access.